We'll talk to Senator Snowe very shortly. Okay, let's begin the discussion with Senator Snowe. I just wanted to talk to him for a minute concerning something. This is the morning rush. Senator Edwin Snowe, I'd like to say thank you for coming. Even though last night we talk you away in your county. Good morning, man. Thank you for coming.
Clarence, morning. It's the power of the microphone, right? You can pull us from anywhere, and in honor of
For the benefit of the bombing people.
our duty to our citizens, we have to make
Yeah,
ourselves available. But I'm very happy, Clarence, as always, to be on the show.
I know.
Very, very happy. I think
How long did it take you from Tottenham break here? I'm asking because a lot of people, I haven't gone on that road for some time. They put me on the pretense that it's almost 2 hours.
no, it's a little over 2 hours.
A little over?
Yeah, over 2 hours now. The road condition and thanks to the government, the concession has been signed for a complete new road from St. Paul Bridge into Tottenhamburg, including the streets of Tottenhamburg, and then from Clay to Boakai. So groundbreaking for the construction should be sometime this month, in the course of this month. So in the next few years, we show that the story will change.
Yes, absolutely. It's going up to Bopolu?
Oh, there's another arrangement being made for the Popolo sector from Tottenham into Popolo, and then also from Motor Corner through the Swan Marker Belt into Popolo. So there are separate arrangements being made.
You used to chair the committee on public, or you still chairing it?
I co-chair the committee now.
Okay. I see why you're talking the way you talk, because you got
Yeah,
information.
yeah, I co-chair the committee.
But how's everything?
Well, so far so good. The year has started. The year which seems to be would be a politically challenged year. A lot of political issues, I'm sure, will come out as we go towards the next few years.
Why you think so, Snow?
Liberians by nature love politics. Liberians love politics. If you were to do a check of your bandwidth when you have your different shows, if you did a show on maybe just agriculture.
No, that one we know so.
Uh-huh.
The politics, the
Politics.
views will increase.
Thank you. So Liberians love politics, and as people
Is
begin
it
to
so
get
because
up-
they're concerned about their lives, the future of the country, prospects?
I think so too. And also this year, because there's no midterm election, the politics will take the center stage. You don't have like in the CDC led government after 3 years amidst COVID and everything, there still was a midterm election that gave the citizens a broader picture of the future of the CDC-led government in the midterm elections, when most of the CDC candidates were defeated across the country. It was a rude awakening for this unity party too. And two, as in the Weah unity party-led government. There's no midterm election, so that assessment for midterm will be done through the microphones, through Facebook, there will be a lot of political debates and arguments in year three than we had in the previous years. So it's obvious. But Liberia love politics, I think, because of the well-being. Uh, we don't have a very strong or vibrant middle class, so you always have people that are you need to get up there and know what people in the upper bracket doing, how their life is being managed, what decisions people are making, was the vibrancy of the legislature, what the legislatures are doing in the interest of the people. So a lot of things will come out, and I think that's what make our country. Amidst that, we still do the last um, 12, 18 years now. We don't have political prisoners. People can express themselves freely. Yes, people will come after you, but that's democracy. If you attack people, people will attack you. So I think our democracy is thriving very well, and we've almost worked towards doing that, especially those of you in the media, which I think doing an excellent job.
Yeah, you for no, I don't very long time. I'll be the real. Few weeks now, you now ECOWAS assignment. So the people are bombing, getting the best out of you. I think so. You know.
Yeah. I had two missions last month, January, that I designated my vice chair to proxy for me. I wanted to spend some time in the
Where is he or she
county.
from?
He comes from
Okay.
Benin Republic. So I wanted to spend some time back home, in the county. My birthday is in a few days, so February 11. I want to spend my birthday, back home. Then, of course, the unfortunate situation of the demise of the son of Mrs. Taylor, Philip. I also want to be here for the funeral, and then I'll begin the following day after the funeral. I have an assignment in Senegal. We have an extraordinary session in Senegal, and I'll be there at that time. But for now, between now and the funeral, I'll be enjoying myself in Liberia.
By the way, how's your mom?
Mom is doing okay. Mom is doing okay. I spoke to her yesterday. She's getting younger by the day. She's doing okay. Remain sweet, remain prayerful. Yeah, sometimes she gets up and the other bone is acting. Sometimes she stays in bed, but she's great. I mean, for her age, heading towards 91 years old. We thank God, for her health.
She's
We thank
90
God.
currently.
She's currently 90. In June, she'll be 91. Yeah, yeah.
What is that I saw in your hand? Is it your report, your annual report? You brought?
Yes, because you talk about it. You
Yeah.
talk
Let
about
me
it.
see.
So
What's that? It's
when I was coming, I told the guys make sure you have one of
This
it.
is what
So,
2025
yeah.
Senator Bomi County Republic of Liberia. Oh, Edwin Snowe, Senator Bomi County Republic of Liberia 2025 annual report. So in here are the things you did last year.
Definitely things that we
Okay.
did. Also it's important to know that a legislator, be a representative or senator, can like to do a report to your people. Some will do a report, rating report. Some may choose not to do a report, like most wouldn't do. But I think it's always a good idea, and we've made that a precedence since we're in District 5, District 6, Representative Senja, District 1 in
I've
Bombay,
never
and
heard you
then
do report as a senator. Maybe this is the first that I know.
no, it's not the first. It's
Oh,
not the
okay.
first. We've done report, and you can go to our Facebook page. You will see our report. So we've done report. That's part of our.
You did it in
work.
Tottenham?
We've always done our report. Last year, matter of fact, in not last year, but 2024, we did our report. We have that visible, hard and soft copy. The previous the other years before, we've done radio presentation where we reported to our people. And I think that's something that we should do. I think that's something that is good for legislators. I mean, I'm not compelling others to do it, but it's something that I love to do and something I always do.
Yeah. How do you do it? Do they critique the report? Do you in that forum at that point do you allow people to speak out? Do you bring evidence of some of the things you do? What are scholarship beneficial? Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So what we've done over the years is for example, 2 times now we presented through a radio platform.
Okay.
So you go in the studio with Meloshi or Radio Bombing, simulcasting it, and you present your report and open the lines. So you are engaged, people talk to you, people ask you questions, and then you make the hard copies available to people. Last year report we targeted the student community, so we invited high school students from across the country, so or across the county, sorry, Swamaka district, different district, Clay, Senja, of course, rural Senja, Bar, and all over the place. So students came, civil society actors were there, religious community, and we presented a report. There were remarks. Uh, and we are now preparing to have a forum where we can go again on the radio platform, and then people can call in, express some of their concerns, and if there are things that they will need further clarification on, where we stand ready to do that.
That's good. What are your current activities in bombing? I'm asking because I was it 2 night or a night ago I saw
Saturday
you
night?
at an intellectual center.
Yeah. I love doing that. Yeah. So most times when I'm in the county, we have 2 big intellectual centers, one in Bar and one in Tottenham, or 1 or 2 in Tottenham, and a sim in Bar. I know there's another one in Clay. We haven't engaged that one yet, but we're trying also to work with them to, bring it up to standards. But we engaged the young people on Saturday night at the Intellectual Center, New Vision Intellectual Center. It was a very, very good exchange. It lasted up to 1 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Yeah, up to 1 o'clock in the morning. It was very, very hectic exchange where we talk about our stewardship. We talk about things we've done. First, what we did on Friday. Normally, once I'm in town, I spend more time in Bombay. So Friday, Thursday after session, went to Bombay. Then on Friday, we attended the Student Council, CHW Student Council government induction ceremony. Thereafter, we visited communities and all of that around the county. Saturday morning, we went outside Tottenham in the rural area, just surprise visit. I would normally do that. And then Saturday evening, then we had this intellectual exchange at the intellectual center. It was very, very good. We talked about our projects, what we've done over the years in the county. We talked about what we intend to do. There's this argument, not just in bombing, but around Liberia, where people have accused me of adult pocketing or waiving 14 millions from Western cluster. So one or two people asked that question, and I said to them, I challenge this government if they can. I mean, the first thing is that no member of the legislature or anybody outside the presidency or LRA can waive taxes. So for someone to believe that Edwin Snowe was able to waive it, then you got to be uneducated. You can be an educated person to think that way. And if there's an accusation that I put 14 million in my pocket, then I challenge this government to put out all their tenants and check the books, and if such happen, then you bring me to you can launch an investigation, prosecute me. But that's a lie. There's nothing like that ever happened. So it was important to let the people of Bombay know that again, because I think when you achieve so much, sometimes we try to look for a little rare oil to put on the white clothes, because we've done a lot of projects in Bombay, and sometimes when you say it, people think you're bragging, but single-handedly, I've done more projects than I would want to say combined, but I've done the most project as a legislator in Bombay, and the records are there. We've built halls, we've built marketplaces, we've renovated public buildings, we've brought in containers of textbooks and medical supplies. We've given generator, printer, and computer to every high school in Bombay County, and that's almost 16 schools. We've given medical supplies to all of the medical centers in the county. So those are some of the things we had to talk about, And in politics, people say political reward is not in heaven; it's right here. So when you do things for your people, for me, when people stand on the line, vote for you, support you, and you do these things, you must let people know what you've done. And currently, we have 100 students on our scholarship at the Bombay Community College. We have 4 foreign students, one in Rwanda now and 3 in India on our scholarship. We have students in and out of Monrovia, on Cottington and everything on our scholarship. So those are some of the things we talked about to the people at bombing. Of course, they were concerned about the 70,000 jobs. We talk about that too.
Why were they asking you?
Well, they were concerned that the president mentioned that short and middle term jobs, there were 70,000 jobs in the 2025, and it had no trickle down effect, or it was not reflected in bombing. And I just explained to them, well, yes, the president said that. I wrote the plenary of the Liberian Senate so that the labor minister will at least come and tell us the categories of jobs and the placement where those jobs in. But it was hammered down by the ruling party, Senator Prince Mori smartly took the floor.
That's your normal legislative politics.
Of course, presided over by the vice president.
His way.
But it was shocking, and I think it created more questions than answers, because the president said there were 70,000 jobs. An opposition senator said, okay, I agree with the president. In my letter, I say I will commend the president. But let the labor minister come now and tell us. Then he said, no, the labor minister should not come. So then it tells you that something's not adding up somewhere. But anyway, we talked about that. Then what we talked about, when we went through the county, we went through some of the schools. For example, there's a little school in the Mahia Ward in Bombay County called Wilson Town Public School. It's a government school, It's listed on the Ministry of Education list of schools, public schools. But that school has only one volunteer teacher that don't show up.
I think we heard about that school before.
So that school is shut down. Then Bamo Public School, the representative in Senja, in one of his legislative projects, renovated that school. Did a very good job on the school, but there are no teachers there. And some of the clinics. So we've now written the Ministry of Education to send us a listing of all public schools in the county and maybe the listing of the staff so we can verify, because this one you cannot just solely blame the ministries. We need to do, and I think this government would do itself well if they set up a small team like Madam Salif did, where you can track some of those things. If the minister comes, like I listened to the CEO,
The health seal.
CEO this morning, and we're talking about people giving the president wrong data, wrong information. If people don't counter check, and I show those people that give the president wrong information, they believe or they know that the country is so sophisticated that people will go and check for those things, and then you come back the following day and say, oh no, we made a mistake. It's more than just saying I made a mistake. The president's address to the legislature is a constitutional requirement. So when the president goes there on an oath as the president of the republic and delivers an address, and then the address is characterized by, I won't say falsehood,
Misinformation.
but it's information. And we think it's just a simple thing. In most jurisdictions, in most democracy, when president delivers the address, it's debated. Like in Ghana, in Nigeria,
South Africa.
It's debated. It goes on the floor of parliament, and it's debated. They talk about it. Sometimes it's debated there and then. In Ghana, when the president delivers the address, there's response from the majority and the opposition.
I think in
right
South
there.
Africa, the same thing. The
Same in
president
South
remains
Africa.
on the
Yes,
floor.
right there.
They ask you.
Thank you. Right there. In Liberia, it's becoming more of a ceremony. Everybody just for New Year, Christmas, everybody want to wear their new clothes. Everybody want to go to Capitol Hills and listen to the president speak. Every member of the government want to make sure that they're in attendance. It's like a roll call for the government. And then the president speaks, and then you come up the next day, and people, fact check it thanks to your station too. Have a good fact check program. But like former Minister Samuel Twe and others, who were giving the data information, and then Ministry of Information come the following day and say, oh yeah, the president made a mistake. And they say as simple.
Is it wrong, to be honest, to say we made some mistakes?
No, it's not wrong. But then what should have happened now? The president, by this time, there should be a letter to the legislature and say my address to the legislature.
Oh, really?
This information was not correct, or please see the corrected version of my address, because those things goes into the archives of the legislature. So what do we do? How do we present it? How do we save those documents in the archive of the legislature? So it's not a simple thing, where somebody say, oh, and I listened to you the following day, and I have no problem with that. I mean, I think it was magnanimous on the part of the Ministry of Information to come on and say the president made a mistake, or the data given the president was wrong, even though I won't say dismissal, but even if it was just caution, if the president would have even said, look, you gave me wrong information, there's warning, public warning, or public suspension, something like that, to show that the legislature is a serious place, and you can just go there, get the president any kind of information. You see, people are instruments of will and pleasure. People in the executive, instrument of will and pleasure. The president get in the morning and say you fire. So the president gives you that responsibility to work for the government, for the people. You must work with diligence. You can't take your work for granted. It's not a PR thing, to say, well, I did 100 kilometers of road, but I want to look good. I want the government to look good. So I will put that 200 kilometers. The president will go and read it, and nobody will check it. Nobody will know. And then people go and check it and find out that it's not true. And then we make it look like it's just a Band-Aid. Just you scratch, so you just can't put Band-Aid on your hand and think it's a minor thing. But you took stitches. That Band-Aid, there are 5-6 stitches on there, but you add like it's just a scratch.
What would you have done?
Well, first thing, by this time, with all due respect to the presidency, the formal communication should have been to the legislature.
Okay.
The Constitution says the president will present his legislative agenda to the legislature. So in presenting the information to the legislature that was marked by falsehood or misinformation, by now the legislature should be informed that the data given you or presented to you on the third working Monday of the year, as per Article 58 of the Constitution, there was some wrong information. Here is the corrected information.
Okay,
All right,
Senator
and then maybe warn or caution those
Whoever did
ministers
it.
that they gave you the wrong, not necessarily dismiss. I won't go for dismissal, but even if it's suspension or something, some action, so that people know
probably
that.
they did some in-house thing that didn't come up.
Well, then, okay, granted, then by now the legislature should have the corrected version, and a written communication should be before the legislature
Okay.
on the misinformation.
Senator Snowe, what is this thing about this put autonomy bill? While you send it back to the president, to the executive, what is it about? Hey, this thing has been lingering. It will pass. It go to the high. Come back to you. What do you know? What clear thing could you say?
You know, conversation with the president or people in authority are normally privileged. But I will say this, and I think it's important to state. I hear a lot of people accusing the legislature, specifically the pro tem and Senator DeLong, of being the brain behind the port autonomy bill. For the record, I disagree with them. I don't agree.
Who introduced the amendment?
I'm coming. Let me just lay the premise, Clarence. I don't agree that this is something done by Senator DeLong or the pro tem. And why am I saying this? Over a year ago, when the vice president, my friend, and the president pro tempore, my friend as well, my other friend, both of them felt that the relationship between me and the presidency was becoming sour. And during the unification period, they decided that we should go and sit with the president, and just clear some of the gray areas of the relationship, which I thought was good. We sat with the president, very good meeting. That was after that meeting when information ministry came with a version of it and said I wanted to undermine the government. But in that meeting, amongst very important conversation with the president, one of the conversations of the president in that meeting was his interest in decentralizing the port. He specifically mentioned in that meeting and even solicited, my support as an opposition senator, and gave very good reasons the need to decentralize the port. So when that bill was introduced, normally bills are normally sponsored by legislators. So if a bill came from the executive mansion, there will be a sponsor of that bill on the floor that will introduce a bill on the floor. So when they came to us discussing the decentralization of the port, the first thing that came to mind, I said, oh yes, the president had mentioned this as one of his visions for the port, having the port autonomy, decentralizing the port. So I saw it as something that the president himself wanted. I didn't see it as something that Senator DeLong or Pro Tem Yongi Kangalorn were pushing. And we've been working with this bill for a long time. There have been some issues, either the autonomy or the decentralization version that have not gone well, but it's been very much politicized. Where
I was asking who's sponsoring the amendment, because probably it is because of that the public perception
but
is
it
coming
came
up.
from the committee on public operations, Senator Nokwe. Okay. It was from Senator Nokwe's committee that came on the floor. And it has been back and forth, and in the spirit of coordination, as per the Constitution, the legislature decided that, look, there's too much noise, there's too much lack of information, and people demonstrating, people being organized from the port to go to the mansion to demonstrate, people being doing this. It's been funny, and this is one government. It's not separate. We can be opposition, we can have dissenting voices and all of that, but they need to work together in fostering the national agenda that every citizen will benefit, should not be underestimated. Okay, so we decided that, look, let's write the precedent. And that was a decision by the Speaker and the Pro Tem that was communicated to the leadership and members of, I think the Speaker did same with the House of Representatives, because the Pro Tem did it on our side. Let's write the precedent, recall the bill, and sit down again and look at those issues that have been flagged, and let's see how best we get. I think that was one of the most magnanimous things so far in the spirit of cooperation.
This is one bill that has been talked about almost everywhere and highly political. Why do you think it's so political the way it is? There have been a lot of other instruments that came non-political, passed, but this one...
I think it's just an issue of turf. I think it's tough. Someone feels that when they put, for example, when they put up Buchanan tells you that we're generating over $1 million, but we have only $100,000 for operation, or less than 100,000. I think 5,000 or something like that, or 100,000 the whole year. Something I don't know the exact figures. And then you say, okay, let's decentralize it so that port can have the autonomy to run the budget. You won't have this umbrella thing. And actually, it becomes an issue of turf. I always tell this story as a joke, and Mr. Gafan, I always laugh about it. I still remember when I was Speaker of the House of Representatives. Madam Salif came to us. We had at the time Minister of Finance, and we had Bureau of the Budget. So Madam Salif came to us. Gafan was director of the budget, Bureau of the Budget behind the mansion there, and she wanted to put Bureau of Budget under Ministry of Finance to merge it. So Mr. Gafan came, to the Capitol building and tried to convince us not to do it. That was a bad idea. Gafan and Nokwe there, all of them went to be there together. So he got his friends there, all of that. And he made a very excellent argument why the Bureau of the Budget should not go under Ministry of Finance. And we rejected that bill from Madam Salif. We didn't agree. It went back to the mansion, rejected it, voted against it. Then a few months later, Madam Salif appointed Minister Gafan as Minister of Finance. And that same bill came back to us again. Then Gafan came now and gave us compelling argument to put it under Ministry of Finance. And his argument was strong enough that we did that. So we then again, at that time, and then we listened to Gafan again with the other side of the argument.
But man, you said anything on that?
So sometimes people think that when you take away certain authority, or you break away some of the authority, then that umbrella power or authority is taken away. But sometimes not necessarily.
They go back because of the politics surrounding it, or because of the way the bill was. Senator, I'm always concerned about the way the legislature does its work in terms of passing these kinds of laws. Do you have a section where you say, for example, the port autonomy law, right? We are not managers, we are not experts in port management. Let's sit as politicians, let's bring the knowledgeable people to take the stand and educate us about whether we should do this thing or not. Why don't you do that?
We don't have a problem. The matter of fact, in the legislature, that's why we have public hearing. That's why we talk to experts. Now, some of the times we do our work, it may not come in the public glare, which I think we should do all the time, let the public know what we're doing. But for example, that law is even calling for a specific qualification to be managing director of the port.
Of the port.
Yes, you must have that expertise. It's not just administrative.
Anybody.
You must, yes. So when those things come out and someone feels that this is going to target me, I may not have the necessary expertise, or I may not be doing this, and they feel that if this port is detached from my overall responsibility, it may reduce my power. So all of the demonstration and talk shows and different, Clarence, we've been in this business for long. You can open the line now, you take 10 colors, by the time the show is ended, I will know where those 10 colors, where the background's coming from, what the interest is. So people know we plan people make calls, people say things and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you journalists are very smart. You can catch it, you ask the hard questions, and and the people might not be able to answer it. So the issue has not been about the public. I don't think any member of the legislature or at this stage should be afraid about, or people politicizing our work. But we also have flesh and blood. So when these things come out and there's public cry or public misinformation about our work, it's good sometimes to maybe properly dot the I and cross the T's. And that's why, again, I think the office of the president was magnanimous, so as the speaker and the pro tem, to say, look, let's recall this bill. Let's clean it up. Let's look at it again. Some of those concerns, let's look at it, and we'll resubmit it to the president. The president did not veto it. The president, there was conversation, and he agreed to that, and I think it was fine. So let's see. I mean, we are now working on another version of it, but people, I even saw my knee in it one time. I was one of those behind a sponsor and all that kind of thing. I have no fish to fry in it. If it's good for the country, I'll support it. And the president made that argument, which, to me directly. So it wasn't a Yomli or DeLong, as they have been accused, in this case and many other cases.
Senator Edwin Snowe bombing is our guest this morning. This morning I was talking to the executive chair of CEO. He had his own perspectives about the government, and he was talking about bread and butter issue and other kind of things. There is reaction in the public about the performance of the government. It depends on who you talk to, like you said. Do you think the government still got some time to perform, to right the wrong if there were wrongs?
So
Do you
like
think time is running out? Time is out? Because I heard you saying the way you see it this year will be political.
so like I said to you in my intro, this is a mid-year. This is a mid-year. So if there was mid-year election, midterm election, it would have been this year.
This year.
And this normally in our democracy, midterm election is every other 6 years. So you won't have it this year, this in this administration, but the next 6 years you will have it in 2032, 2033, something like that. And then the following election after 20, then you have it again, like that. So because you wouldn't have it this year, you will have a lot of politics. So for a lot of people, you will talk to some member of the legislature, you say, look, we took the first 3 years as honeymoon. Moving forward, we have to do our work. Like I say all the time, sometimes people spend time protecting their job and people spend time doing their job. So, and I agree, I like the interview they had this morning. It was a very, very good interview. And like you said, going forward, you will see a lot of alignment and realignment. You will see people from within either leaking information or resigning. You will see people on the other side that say, well, 3 more years is too hard for me to stay in opposition. They will go on the other side. So you see a lot of shifting taking place in the next few years. But this year, because it's considered as a midterm in the absence of election, there will be more. It will be more active politically. So again, I think the government. I mean, let me not say again before they say I want the government to fail, but if they want to succeed, they should do better than they've done. I mean, the issue of, and I agree with him when he talked about the way my friend, the Minister of Finance, handled the issue of bread and butter, the way he trivialized it, and I think it was condescending. Should we open a ministry of bread and butter? Okay, we'll open up. No, bread and butter is not about ministry. The matter of fact, he runs the bread and butter ministry. It's not just Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. That's the bread and butter ministry. So the press conference, the way he addressed the issue of bread. Look, Clarence, like I said to you on Saturday, and I've done that many days, I go in the interior to our people, unannounced, and you see the difficulties our people are faced with. It's not limited to this government.
Do they still think that way, feel that way?
Who?
That they are facing difficulties, the people?
The people? Of course, Clarence. It's tough. Even as officials of government. Even as I don't know, maybe except for you, but
No, it's not tough on you. I'm not a government official.
Well, even in the private sector, now tough is relative. Now, you may need $100 a day to survive, and you may have just $50. So you're looking for the other 50. So it's tough. But somebody don't even need that much. They just need $5. So it's relative. It comes into segments. But the issue of bread and butter should never ever be trivialized. Never, because it is a serious issue in our country. This is a country that we're not self-sufficient. People have to now. When somebody say, "Oh, LEC is not going off again," or the price of gasoline has reduced, or the price of rice have reduced, so the savings you're making from there, it can address your bread and butter issue. No, I disagree. So can we also say the school fees have reduced? Yeah? Can we say the economy is okay? When even the president in his independence address spoke of the hardship and constituted a committee led by the vice president. So the issue of bread and butter, and the thing about our friends in the ruling establishment, everything for them is defensive. Even if this wall is white and you come as an opponent and say, "Oh, the wall is white," they will argue with you that no, it's not white again, it's green because someone says it's white.
That's what ruling parties have done.
But I agree, but it has not worked for us.
Will we hear your National Patriotic Party speaking out on issues this year? You seem to be a little bit quiet, and I listen to Chairman Mulba say, we are bereaved, the death of the song of Mrs. Taylor,
So to all fairness, the NPP is and you know about it. You have your ears to the ground as a journalist. The NPP is still doing some housekeeping. we're still working internally to do some housekeeping.
Yeah, you're trying to be
Now,
smart
there are
before
people-
when you're in time, it will boss.
Not necessarily, but I mean, maybe you're right, because there are people within the NPP now that are affiliated with the government. So there's the NPP. You have two sides
You
of
have
the
you
NPP.
have NPP government and NPP opposition.
You know, so like the former Secretary General is at the NRR, the National Registry or something, Identification Registry.
Yeah,
So you know, he had to resign.
By the way,
as
Senator Snowe, where's Senator James Barney?
James Barney
He's
is
gone
here.
completely quiet.
Okay, so again, Barney, you know, a very strong member of the legislature. When I was the MPYC chairman in the 90s, Barney was my MPYC chairman in Maryland.
In
County.
Maryland.
So we've come a long
and
way.
Nathaniel McGill was in Bapolo.
So we've come a very long way, and I know how robust Senator Barney
Oh,
is.
he's gone quiet.
I mean, again, Senator Barney is now with a ruling establishment. So maybe he's not necessarily quiet, but maybe those things that he would have said on the floor of the Senate or on the microphone, he can now go and sit down with the president of the party leadership and have a conversation with
I mean,
him.
Barney is very unpredictable. Watch out for Barney. You know, that's how he does his politics.
I agree with you. I mean,
sometimes when you think Barney is already dead, and I'm talking about politically,
Barney
when Barney rises
never.
up, it can be different.
I agree with you.
I
agree
remember
with you.
when he stood up to George Weah, the CDC, they didn't believe that.
I agree.
Because he
I agree.
supported them all through.
So you see, the Barney faction of the NPP, if I may say, is affiliating with the government. So you hear little or no argument coming from that side. Then the side of the former vice president, who's a Stenenberg, Clarence Stenenberg,
that Edwin Snowe
is seen as, you know, they are linked to the opposition. So there's always, but then the NPP being a very mature party, former ruling party, there are not many former and current ruling parties in our country. I mean, Tory Party, NDPL, NPP, United Party, CDC.
only
you know,
five.
thank you. You know, so any party taking that space as a ruling party or former ruling party, much is expected of you. So the NPP, like other parties that will just go and call press conference, just talk and all that, NPP have to measure what they say. And
Where's Emmanuel Lomas?
Lomas is here.
All the NPP guys are around.
Well, again, this is a midterm. I think a lot of people in governance, because our structure, our political structure is for the length of the presidency is for 6 years. Unlike others, like Ghana, it's just 4 years. So you saw over the weekend, Ghana have already elected the standard bearer for the 2028 election.
Mahamadou Bawumia.
Yes, thank you. So he's now.
I really thought Kennedy Achapon would have taken that stuff.
I knew that Bawumia would have taken it. I mean, you were there for the election.
Yeah,
you saw how strong he came up. You know, even though the ruling party, MPP at the time in Ghana, the New Patriotic Party, they were very unpopular, but he still came as a very strong candidate. And what he did on the morning of the election, while they were still getting results from the field,
he congratulated
John Mahama. He's been very cooperative.
I thought that was maturity.
He attends all national functions.
In fact, what I saw on TV, some of the people were not happy.
They're not happy, but he did that, and that is paying off for him. It's paying off very well for him. So Ghana has 4 years, Sierra Leone has 5 years. So they are already, Nigeria, if you go to Abuja today, you will see all on the streets, President Tinubu is already campaign teams out.
Now I look forward to see who's the NDC putting up.
That's a tough one. They're already
tough.
Because President Mahama cannot go again. That's his last term he's serving.
I'm hearing about their party chair in Ghana. They call him the general.
Well,
the NDC chair, the current NDC chair.
But also the chief of staff to the president.
Deborah.
Yes, the chief of staff is also, is coming up strong too. So it's going to be normally the opposition will come first and then the ruling party.
But so, I'm also keeping my eyes on Sierra Leone. I want to know where your mentorings will be. I'm keeping my eyes on Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone is coming up strong, but the strongest politician now in Sierra Leone happens to be the first lady.
Senator Snowe. I was thinking, what? that woman, I mean, she wants to pull up a surprise. I see her trying to maneuver the way Fatuma Bio is moving.
She is the most popular politician in Sierra Leone, more popular than her husband.
I think so too.
Who happens to be the president, and people are now begging the husband to ask her to back out of the race. She said no.
What does she want to do?
She run as president.
Snow, you can't be serious.
Oh, you don't know that?
I've never heard
She's running now as the flag bearer of the SLPP. So when SLPP goes to that convention and she becomes a flag bearer, she will be a candidate in
And
2028.
don't underestimate Fatima.
Of
Watch
course
out.
I'm not. Of
The
course
way
I'm
she
not.
know how to do
No, no,
the things she do.
no.
She's a crowd puller.
She listen. Even when Madabio won the last election, it was generally accepted in Sierra Leone that his winning was going to be credited to her. And if he was defeated, she was going to take responsibility because she's that person. She stands up in the room. If she gets here, you know she's here. So the women of Sierra Leone are standing very strong behind her.
And there's another woman from the APC who is a friend of Fatima Bio.
Yes.
One doctor.
So even
I follow her.
Sylvia Blading.
Dr. Sylvia Blading.
Yeah.
She too want to be president.
Yeah, but Sylvia Blading has a very good relationship with Fatima.
With Fatima, she always
so
said
people
that.
also believe that it's being programmed because she's from the opposition. She could be.
So I was listening to her say Fatuma should stay away from her a little bit because Fatuma is being crucified by the SLPP because of her.
Yes. So Sierra Leone politics is getting very strong. Sierra Leone politics is very deep, very deeply rooted. So Fatima she's a very strong contender, and people are very concerned that
I didn't know she declared.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The APC have some good candidates. They have the guy who was in charge of anti-corruption, Ade Makode, he's there. Or my friend Chenon Ba, who was a former deputy speaker.
And what would anybody think that Madabio would tell her where to step aside when Madabio too looking for succession? But by the way, Francis Ben Kalfala,
yes,
the anti-corruption guy,
yes,
the guy want to be president.
He wants to be. So it's tough. It's going to be a tough one.
And he been selling a lot of unexplained wealth.
My friend City Tudis, also is a strong man in the SLPP.
But the man just relaxing, the man observing.
He's not. He's been spending a lot of money. But the person that been beating him to it is Fatima Bio. City goes anywhere and give 100,000. Fatima Bio will come and give 150 or 200,000.
She's first lady now.
She's been.
But Snow, one thing that was surprised a
so
lot of people.
also have money.
Well, I don't know, but the vice president, I'm not sure he's happy in the midst of all the. He's thinking the president's supposed to stop the first lady and then give him that right.
You see the thing about it, President Bio. It's a military man, military discipline. He don't talk much.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk much, but he's also a strong Democrat. So he believes that one political right must be respected. And I think if his wife is a member of the party and she has her own ambition, I don't think they would expect him. The chief minister, for example, Sierra Leone has
the chief minister, that guy, is a popular guy.
Yeah, he wants to be president. The foreign minister wants to be president.
They have a very young foreign minister.
Very young foreign minister. Very nice, very nice. Very nice. He's a gentleman, very gentleman par excellence. So they have a lot of young people coming up in Sierra Leone, and the election is going to be very, very tough. Trust me.
What does your friend...
If Fatima Bio clinch the flag bearer,
it will be tough.
Of the SLPP, it will be a very tough election.
What does a friend of I don't know, what is his name? Afino Making in Ghana.
Ghana minority leader.
What does he want to do? I see him with he led the campaign for Baumian's election.
He did.
He's
someone to watch.
It seems he's a popular politician in Ghana.
He's someone to watch. He's from Winneba.
Winneba is a border region with Ivory Coast. I think so.
No.
Okay.
Winneba is when you pass Bunjubura camp. Going, it's on the coast.
He's from Winneba.
Yeah, he's from Winneba. He's very strong in Winneba. But Winneba also is one of the strong areas of the NDC. Oh. But he, as NPP, always wins Winneba because of his own diversity and strength and other things. But he's party disciplined.
The guy is charismatic.
Very. He's a young lawyer. In his 40s. He has some very good business, very wealthy.
Yeah, I noticed the government attempted to go after him
when
the government came to power.
Even in the ECOWAS parliament, that's the same thing that happened in Liberia. When I told people they didn't believe it, even in ECOWAS parliament tried to withdraw him. But
I witnessed that.
The protocol could not. I had to get involved again, and then.
But Senator Snowe, before we take to the lands, this one will be quick. Even though Uganda is not a member of the ECOWAS community, but I think they are part of the African Union.
Yes,
I don't know. I'm correct. I'm correct now.
Correct.
What is the role of the ECOWAS parliament and stuff like those about the human rights situation in Uganda as far as democracy is concerned? Right now, Bobby Wine is not in country. Mm-hmm. His wife was treated the way she was treated. And you will not imagine that the chief of staff of the army there posted a video and he's the son of the president. Mm-hmm. When do you people get concerned?
So in the ECOWAS Parliament, I'm the one person of the committee that worked with the African Union because I also chair the African Peer Review
Mechanism,
Mechanism.
yeah.
So we've engaged the actors in Uganda. We've made some very strong, had some very strong conversation. We've condemned most of the actions. The African Union will be meeting in the next few months, and there should be a strong resolution coming out of the African Union. I'm happy, like I always said publicly, the work of the foreign minister in this government. I think they're doing an excellent job. They've already thrown a bid in for the
For
EU.
chairmanship, yeah.
Yes, and I think Liberia is turning up well in the international community. So, in addition to Liberia's role or quest and what we'll be doing at the level of ECOWAS Parliament and peer review mechanism, I'm sure we will be able to come up with a very strong position against the abuse or political abuse in Uganda.
Where your man Umbalo?
I wish I knew.
Where your friend?
I wish I knew. There been some major. The matter of fact, there's been some dramatic change in Bissau. Maybe one of the MPs from Guinea-Bissau is here. He came into the country yesterday.
I could talk to him.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
you
I could
can.
talk to him.
There's
I'll keep
someone
in touch with
can-
you. I
Yeah,
could talk
you
to
could
him.
talk to. Yes,
Wow,
yes,
what you
if
mean
you-
dramatic change?
the military now have called for elections in 1 year. They've released all political prisoners, but they still have the main opposition under house arrest. They want the prime minister, who was a campaign manager, to behead the government. The opposition is saying no.
Where's
they
the
will not
guy
allow
who
that.
presumably
Won the election? The
elections?
capture. He was in the Nigerian embassy for months. He's now being released. He's home. Domingo is still under police arrest. House arrest at his home. So it's still a very fragile situation in Guinea-Bissau. We're still looking for a logical conclusion.
A logical conclusion. I hope I can have the opportunity to talk to that Guinea-Bissau, lawmaker. 0777700999 and 5. We're taking few minutes. Yes, we went across, man. Try to put our hands all over. Watch up. That woman in Sierra Leone, I didn't know she declared something. Hello?
Morning.
Good
Dan.
morning. Yeah?
Hey, my name is Daniel Fidi, and I call you from District 10.
Okay, Daniel.
Thanks to your studio guest, Honorable. This morning, I want to say to you, Honorable, you talk about the president firing somebody, but I may first say...
No, he didn't say fire. He said for him, he will not go for fire. He will either advise the president or take different action, but he will not go for fire.
Yeah, but Senator Snowe knows that everybody is bound to mistakes. Now, the House of Representatives talking about that is serious.
But any man know people bound to mistake. That's why he said he will not want the president to be fired. They can advise the president, they can suspend the president, but the president should not be fired.
Yeah, but Honorable Snowe know that he make mistakes, a lot of mistakes, and he made one mistake on Spoon FM and said that he wants the president not to succeed, and he came in defense of his statement, and people called Waterspoon to play that entire show, and to do a replay. But Spoon tried to play some kind of trick and not to play that particular stuff. But he said it. I was listening to the show that day. He said it. So everybody's bound to mistake. He came.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Let's go here. Hello.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to partisan Edwin Snowe.
Oh, Kobo, you MPP man?
Yes, I'm the vice chair on Westminster and Finance for MPYC.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nah, no, I didn't know. But you know, Kobo will do a lot of things on the phone, you and myself. But I don't know you personally.
Okay.
Yeah, I said I see you one day. Yeah.
But Senator Snowe is 100% a member of MPP. And what Senator Snowe needs to do now, he came from MPYC. MPYC gave birth to him, but he haven't given back to MPYC. So let me move into the entire episode, the beginning part, with the port, decentralizing of the port. Senator Snowe is a person that really well and understands what happened in San Pedro. San Pedro, the port of San Pedro is semi-autonomous. It's not 100% autonomous. Before that port went to that level, The Ivorian government invested up to $300 million. Today, if you come to Harper, if Harper become autonomous, it's a brand new central government. If you look at the West Bureau of Harper, a year is 360,000. Can Harper generate 360,000? No. Come to Greenville. The West Bureau in Greenville is 430,000. Can Greenville generate that money in a year? The answer is no. Everybody is looking at Basel. Look at the shipping needs. Can the government invest at least $400 million in Harper to make Harper a transshipment port before bringing Harper to autonomous or semi-autonomous? Yes. Let's look at developing the port before doing these things.
Okay, so all you are saying is that it is not a good idea. However, it can be now.
It can be now because and let me just say comparison. They are doing disservice to people who went out and learned port development and decentralizing in terms of port management.
Thank you. That's why I was talking about getting the experts. We'll just take few, like 3 more minutes. No way. Hello? Hello, let me take my legislative analyst. I'm thinking about renewing his contract so he can start working on Monday. There were no money, so even though we pay him, but there was no money in his car. Well, let's hear you, man. My man, you will renew your contract Monday. You start work.
Thank you very much, boss. Thanks very kindly. You know, we prefer working. The pro bono job is better than nothing at all.
You look well.
Let me just say,
You say how you going? You say how you going?
You look well.
Now he must say that.
You look well?
Street.
You look well.
You look well. What's up?
That was thank you. But let me say a very pleasant good morning to Edwin Snowe. To be quite frank, when we were at the level of the Capitol and this whole ECOI thing started, up to the time Edwin Snowe took his journey to ECOWA, and up to present today, he has done so much. To be quite frank, Liberia being on a map, we had delegates that went, like for instance, I went on the ACPEU at the level of the European Parliament. Edwin Snowe has brought a lot. He's present at the ECOWAS Parliament. He's doing very well. When he's on the radio, he's speaking about the region. He has had a very strong backing with even his colleague. So the only thing I can say is that because he's a very strong politician here in country, when he makes some statement, then people try to look at, but if his supporter will say, but if our man goes, so we'll go. So the other people say, oh, but let me step into her. So I think if you just try to tune them very well and coordinate properly with the government so that we all can achieve, I think credit is only from within, but actually on the outside, Edwin Snowe is doing very well. When I'm monitoring him, he makes his report, his annual report from Bummy. I was impressed, very, very impressed. And you know me, I can criticize you, don't mind me, I won't call you, But for now, you are good. Thank you, I appreciate you.
Thank you. Senator Snowe, you will just take the rest of the 2 minutes. You heard Unikwe. I know Unikwe. It's a Gola war, right?
Yeah, stranger.
Okay.
I think stranger or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But again, on Clarence, for me, I just look. This is what you call democracy. Everybody can be in the same boat. We will all head from different directions, but to end up in the same direction, and that's for prosperity of the country. The issue over the weekend, Clarence, what I saw in the county, in Boakai County, with our school system, like I said, Wilsontown. I mean, I went to that area and saw a lot of children of school-going age that cannot go to school because the school building there is shut down and no teacher. And that school is listed on government, it's one of the schools listed as a government public school. So we need to work in collaboration with the Senate Committee Chair on Education, Senator Natali McGill, and the Ministry of Labor, of Education, as well with Senator Daba Fapala and the Ministry of Health, so that we can see that those schools that are listed as public schools and health centers in our county. It is not just unique to Boakai County, other counties. I believe that people are on those payrolls, but they are not showing up and they are taking the pay. So let's audit this payroll. Let's see if they don't want to go to work, let's put people there to get our children in school. The issue of bombing junior high school is still on my mind. We still need to work on junior bombing high. There's no roof, there's nothing there. The school is shut down. They have moved to CH2A. There's issue of Southtown Public School going for WISE and don't have a mathematics teacher in the school is troubling. So we need to do more, and I hope that we can continue to work. Before I close, I want to thank Madam Salif, who visited the class and we are center yesterday. I saw the
That
video.
visit was too strategic.
I like the output of the students. Those kids, how smart they were. And I publicly want to thank Mrs. Weah for the sacrifice she's making for the young children of this country. I think it was a very good visit by Madam Salif as a mother of the country, and I think that was a clear message.
Okay, this is how we're going home. Tomorrow we'll be here. We had bombing Senator Edwin Snowe here as our guest. My name is Piso. Thanks to Blessing Nimle. Tomorrow we'll be back here with another edition. Until that time, bye-bye.